Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I had a topic request by one of our regular viewers on the channel, one of the warriors that is part of our little community. He wanted to know, why do men become abusers to their families? Now, obviously, men aren't the only ones that can be abusive. Women can be abusive to men. And we know that women can be abusive to children. We had that happen right here in Daytona Beach. This chick was in her little car, a little silver Econo box car. You can find it on YouTube. It was on our local news. It happened a few years ago. She had some sort of mental breakdown. Car full of kids. I guess she had been arguing with the kids or whatever. She drove right down onto the sand, out into the surf. Drove as far into the water as she could till her car was submerged. They ripped her and her kids out of there and whatever and put her in jail for child endangerment. I'll go on another quick story about women abusers before I get into the topic, really. I had a neighbor that lived a couple houses down, and the woman that he was dating, pretty cute. The guy seemed kind of like a prison boy. I can usually tell a prison motherfucker. And they were having the cops stop by their house twice a week, 3 times a week. And I don't like that shit. I don't like cops on my block. I see cop cars on my block with lights flashing, man. That bothers me. I don't like that. I spent a lot of money and a lot of time to get away from that kind of shit. We don't need cops around here. Keep that in your neighborhood. We don't need that over in this neighborhood. I know that sounds bad. I don't care. I'm not trying to have drama around here. It's why I moved over to this type of area. One day I saw him walking down the street, and he flagged me down. He's carrying a backpack, and he was like, yo, because I'm his neighbor. I'd seen him for a couple years, and I don't like him. And he was like, can you give me a ride to the Greyhound station? And I laughed, but I let him in. I said, sure. It's an opportunity for me to ask him a few questions. I didn't care where he's going. I don't need your fucking life story. The first thing I wanted to know when he got in, shut the door, we pull off, he puts his seatbelt on. I'm like, so, what the fuck is the deal with these cops on the block 3 times a week? How come you're bringing cops on the fucking block? What's the deal with that shit, man, huh? You can't figure out how to do your fucking business without cops? You can't figure out how to beat your fucking wife without the fucking cops coming by? What the fuck? I thought he was the abuser. Obvious. He's a prison boy. He looked just like a piece of shit, trailer trash motherfucker. Like one of these, have you ever seen an Insane Clown Posse fan? The ICP fans are the trashiest trailer trash in the trailer park. If you're an ICP fan, I'm sorry. I have a buddy of mine who's got ICP tattooed on his neck. It's a weird goddamn scene. I could tell you a whole nother story about ICP. Anyways, he stops me in the middle of the conversation as I'm berating him about bringing cops to the block. Because I pretty much think I got this figured out and I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. And he says, bro, you got it backwards. I'm not the one who's beating her up. She's not calling cops on me. I'm calling cops on her. She's beating me up. And I was just like, what? He's a big dude. And I was just like, how's that possible? He's like, man, I'm making dinner. He said he used to be a professional chef years ago. He's like, I still love to cook, even though I don't do that for a living. And he's like, I make dinner every night for her. And I'm making steak and asparagus and chefing the stuff up, doing my thing. Next thing you know, bam! She hits him in the head with a fucking, like a vodka bottle, a full bottle. This guy's tough enough to take it, didn't kill him. That probably knocked me out. He took it. Call the cops. What's he supposed to do? I just thought it was funny. I had it so backwards. But let's get into it. I don't really think this is going to be a long video because I don't really think this is a complex topic. Why do men abuse their families? I think there's typically two types of abusers in that structure within families. And there's all kinds of abuse, but it's just weird if you think about it. So let me set the scenario. A guy meets a girl. They fall in love. He is down on a knee and asks her to marry him. 3 months into it, he turns into a different person. She wonders, who the fuck is this guy? Oh my God. Now I wonder, stopping there for a second, what kind of dude goes into a relationship like that? I mean, maybe it's not conscious that you decide to Jekyll and Hyde some bitch. You're going to start off one person, and then as soon as you move her in, you're going to turn into a different person? Why not be consistent with who you are? I mean, I don't know. But some guys really change. They can become horribly abusive, verbally, physically, sexually. And sexual abuse within relationships is odd because women do get raped in relationships. Rape is simply non-consensual sex. Men take ownership of women when they marry them and when they move them in, and a lot of guys have this, that's my chick, I own her, that's my pussy, I'll fuck you whenever I want, you're in my bed. And they'll just turn her over and start fucking her. That's technically, if she doesn't want it, that's rape. How many women have gone through relationships where they get raped every fucking night and they're too scared to say anything about it? And it's so confusing because this is a person they fell in love with. And they don't want, it's easier just to sit there and lay down for 2 minutes than it is to get into a fight, which may turn physical. So what's it, take a black eye or take one for the team? This could be your neighbors. This could be your mother. You don't know. That type of shit is really insidious, and it goes on behind closed doors, and it could be real mild-mannered dudes, little Clark Kent motherfuckers, little Woody Allen types. You don't know. You really never know. Some abusers are just manipulators. Some are control freaks. I think that the main types of the personality types, I should say, that go towards abusing women and children, abusing their families, is someone who is either a psychopath or a control freak or both. My father was a psychopath. He had mental illnesses. He wasn't the kind of psychopath that you might talk about when you've had a few beers and you're feeling like a badass, and a lot of people get into that mode. I'm crazy. My dad was Rubber Room fucking crazy, Charles Manson crazy, Straight Jacket crazy, real crazy, disturbing crazy. You can see it in his eyes. You take one look at him and be like, whoa, that guy's not right. Something's up with that motherfucker. And my mom was horribly naive, looking to, she had motives. She didn't just fall in love and say, I have to be around this guy. She fell in love, but she's trying to get away from her wealthy parents. She's trying to piss off her uptight father. She had her little agenda. And within a few months, maybe a year, I don't know how long it was, but not long at all, she realized, oh my God, I'm married to a psychopath. And he was abusive, violently, sexually, verbally. Some guys are abusive verbally and they don't even really get it. It's weird. I had a buddy of mine who, he would verbally abuse his wife in front of his friends and in front of me. And, you're so fucking stupid. You stupid bitch. Shut up, you stupid bitch. But that's verbal abuse. How dare you talk to a woman that way? If I caught you talking to my daughter that way, you'd be taking a ride with us. Me and my brother take you for a ride. But some guys are just straight up psychopaths, and I think that really, I know that just sounds like a catch-all answer, but they're abusers because they're crazy. They have mental illness. And that was why my father was that way. Now, the other type, I think, are just control freaks. Now, I don't say just in order to belittle them, because there's certain levels of control freaks which can be freaky. Look at R. Kelly. He had like a cult. These chicks couldn't call their moms, and he's capturing these little groupies. This is serious control freak stuff. Superhero level control freak, super villain level. There's a fine line between superheroes and supervillains. I should make a whole video about that. I have a whole theory about that. But these control freaks can be really dangerous people, especially in the extreme versions. And they can be the abusers. You want to get a black eye, go marry a control freak. Because the first time that he's in a bad mood and tired of playing games with you and your silly ass, oh, watch out. You're going to get smacked around the house. You're going to be telling people at work the next day, oh no, I just bumped into a door. And control freaks are a real problem. And that's a trust issue. Control freaks really, to me, and in my personal opinion, boils down to somebody who has major trust issues. So if you find yourself being too controlling, it's a trust issue. It's a fear-based emotion. There's nothing wrong with wanting to control your environment to a certain extent. This is what civilization is about. That's why we're not living in fields eating dirt, like animals. We want to control a certain aspect of our survival, but you have to be able to have a healthy give and take with it. You can't be dominating somebody. You don't own somebody. You can't tell them when to come home or what to do or who to talk to or what to eat or when they should work out. And there's men who will control every single aspect of their woman's lives, and it's really weird shit. It's unfortunate when abuse happens in relationships. Why don't people just walk away when they're angry, when you're no longer in love? But they don't. They stay together. It's confusing. Thanks for watching.